is in for a tough time.
Absolutely, but Loner, he is a great player. He is the hope of China. What do you have to say about him, Day 9?
I mean, we got a chance to see some of his games yesterday. Even though he botched a couple of drops, lost a few Banshees, he still ended up with a gigantic army, way more food than his opponent, without even really doing anything special, just good macro, good timing, and good economy management. So it's going to be a very long, straight-up battle. I don't foresee any sort of cheesy goofiness from either player, really.
You know, one thing about Loner, I did get the chance to compete against him in a tournament in Shanghai, and he did beat me pretty badly. He's a very talented player. I got a lot of respect for this guy. He's easily the best player in China, and I know all the Chinese fans are tuning in right now. I think this could be pretty tough for Sen, but it's tough to say who's really the favorite here, to be honest. I mean, with these two different players, I'm kind of excited to get this game started.
Yeah, you know, it's a really tough match. Sen, he has so much experience from over the years. He's been one of the best non-Korean StarCraft players since the beginning of time. Loner, on the other hand, a much newer player. Sometimes panics under pressure, but still, he's been winning everything recently. He got through the GSL first round. Here he is in BlizzCon in the semifinals of the winner bracket, rather. And, well, I mean, I just want to start it, man. Terran versus Zerg.
Terran versus Zerg. Are you guys ready?
Oh. Take a look.
So it looks like the first map will be starting soon on Metalopolis. Just want to make sure everything is, in fact, functioning properly on the left of the stage. It looks like Tasteless is going to step away for a moment. But either way, our first map is going to be Metalopolis. Artosis, I know that you as a Zerg player do like this map quite a bit, and especially with that recent patch change where the Roaches got that boost to range 4, which doesn't sound like much, but is a tremendous change. Do you think that Loner is going to be comfortable on this map?
I think Loner is going to be comfortable on any map. He's a really great player, but as far as this map goes, this is going to be the best map in the pool for Sen. He's going to love it, especially if he spawns far away. It's so hard for Terran to actually get across that map and attack Sen because he's going to be able to make a lot of drones, and in the time it takes to walk to his base, he can then make a lot of units. So it's going to be a really hard map for Loner. If he can take this map, then he's going to be in really good shape.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, Nick, it looks like you have some updates for us from off stage.
The only update is that we're ready to start the game. Are you guys ready?
The best of updates.
All right, let's do this.
And of course, did want to let any of you know, for any of you who didn't get the chance to see that epic Boxer versus Fruit Dealer match, the stream did cut out at the very end yesterday, but it's okay because it's all up. Go to BlizzCon.com. You can definitely take a look at those recordings, and we wouldn't want you to miss the action because it was awesome.
It was pretty sick. Okay, over here on our screen at the bottom right, we have Loner. Are there any Loner fans in the audience? And actually spawning quite close to him over here. In the red, as a Zerg, is our player Sen. Anybody think Sen can take this game?
Wow. A lot of Sen fans out there, and, well, that's the way it should be, man, because Sen has been playing so much in the English-speaking community for years and years. An old member of Templars of Twilight, now a member of Fnatic, and just an all-around baller Zerg.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing that was always so impressive to me about Sen is that he wasn't just someone who just grinded with one race. He's actually extremely talented with Terran and Protoss, and that really helps to give him an excellent sense of how all the matchups work because he has done a lot of the strategies that he is combating against. And kind of like you were saying, Nick, he would also thrash me in Brood War, but also with Terran and Protoss too.
Yeah, and one cool thing about Sen, he always falls back on his mechanics. He's a macro Zerg, always has been, always will be. And whenever he used those other races, he used that basic knowledge, those strong strategies to actually, do well.
Interestingly enough, Sen did have the option to turn the Overlord around here, but instead decides to go all the way through the other player's base. He wants to get probably positioning somewhere in the back here to try to see if he's going to get an expansion. Yeah, so Sen does reveal the Overlord in this case.
You know, I think it's a good choice by Sen. That Overlord doesn't have a good hiding spot against that position. You kind of have to fly it behind the third base. So he has to go right through there, watch for any add-ons if he can, and get it out of the way before any Marines are out.
Absolutely. Here comes the scouting SCV from Loner. Taking a look over here. A lot of these top Zergs right now going hatchery first. Fruit Dealer and Sen. Both two very talented Zergs. I really have a lot of respect for these guys. Loner is going to see that his opponent does indeed have an expansion quite early and opts to not get the tech lab right away, but instead get one Marine to drive that Overlord out.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that point you make about getting the hatch before the spawning pool. We can see that Sen is already trying to track down Loner's SCV to prevent any sort of bunker goofiness from beginning at the front of his base. But with that recent patch change, the barracks must have a supply depot constructed before you can build the barracks. So that has put a huge damper on Terran early aggression, and that really is why Zergs are opting to do these big early expand plays. But interestingly enough, no gas for Sen yet. What are your thoughts on this, Artosis?
I really like the no gas yet. Getting a very late gas nowadays is fine. You don't really need speedlings. Roaches can hold off Reaper harass, and between Queens and Spine Crawlers, you can do fine against Hellions. So just getting the later gas is going to allow him to mine more minerals, get a bigger economy going, and then just explode his gas all at once.
We have a bunker coming down here, and it looks like he is going to send one Marine out, second Marine on the way. But Ling's already in. I'm actually questioning this decision by Loner. This seems like awkward timing.
Well, the good thing about it is that sometimes it scares the Zerg player into overproducing Zerglings. Sometimes you're going to panic. You're like, oh no, it's BlizzCon, I'm getting Bunker Rush. And you make like 10 Zerglings, and then suddenly your economy is garbage. But Sen, he kept his cool. He only produced 2 more Zerglings during that little rush. He realized nothing was going to happen. That's Sen, man. He can keep his cool in any circumstance.
Now, I'm really curious to see how Loner's going to continue off this strategy. He's only made 2 Marines, and at the front of his base, he's repelling these scouting Zerglings. And in his main, he's getting Hellions, making a few Marines, but there's an extremely fast starport, and wow, then a command center. I mean, perhaps he could be going for some sort of early drop, perhaps going for, oh no, he is going for a very fast Banshee. There's the tech lab going down on the factory. Add-ons do help you make more complex units in this game, and you can swap the add-ons. So he will be lifting off that factory and trading it to the starport to get a very fast Banshee.
Hellion on the move here. Going across the map, you may try to slip inside the main. Get some drones. Queen.
Ooh.
Very nice. Deflected the Queen.
Nice move there with the Queen by Sen. You know, that's why you get 2 Queens quickly. If you're not going to get your fast gas, you have to put 1 on the ramp to block any Hellion run-bys.
Yeah, I mean, even though those Queens are nice and fat, you still need to position them very, very carefully on that ramp. It's so easy for Hellion to squeeze by, and as we heard with the cheer from the crowd, Sen has finished off that Hellion by his base and is sending 6 Roaches. Doesn't sound like much, but Loner already going to be under a lot of pressure, building a bunker at his ramp, has Marines, expansion almost done, and that Banshee is en route.
And that Banshee is actually a great choice here, Day. I mean, the Roaches are going to come up. They can't hit air units. The Banshee is going to be able to repel them and maybe kill them on their way home. But in the meantime, no cloak being researched, so the 2 Queens that Sen has will make his drones completely safe at home.
Banshee on the move now. Roaches going towards the front. 1 bunker should be okay. How many drones will he get? Will the Queen be able to defend? Let's find out in a second.
Smartly, Sen backs up the Queen, grabs the other Queen, goes up to engage the Banshee, but still going to kite some drones here. Looks like he's killed just 1 so far.
Oh yes, just a little bit of mistiming there with the firing. Those drones were able to pop into the geyser, so he has a lot of drones at orange life, but none that are actually killed. But look at this, all the drones are having to retreat back. He's going to try to pick off extra ones. He's even going to just take hits on the Banshee so he can pick off extra drones. Still only 4 kills, has to be careful. He's going to be able to get surrounded. Oh no, oh the Banshee is going to be trapped, and it's at 14 health, 5 health, and oh my goodness, that actually is a big blunder there by Sen.
Yeah, that was actually a remarkable Banshee micro. He's done everything right so far, and now a Viking comes into play, and there are a lot of overlords around the map that were meant for scouting. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage to Sen with this Viking.
The Viking now cutting down the supply. Of course, the overlords, much like just like a pylon or a depot. And as you can see up here at the top right side of our screen, he was in the red only seconds ago. Beautiful control here with this Viking. And that is going to block Sen from producing any more units for the time being.
You know, this is actually some of the best kiting I have ever seen with Vikings and with Banshees. He's just flying around at the maximum ranges and doing so much damage.